promoting a big bang approach. What we're saying is pick a process, right? Pick an area, pick a process, create a model for that area, for that process, do the improvements, see how well it works, and then add more, right? So there's an incremental approach where you can show quick wins. You can actually improve things in a matter of weeks, right? Days, not months and years, and then replicate that success across other areas and other divisions, right? So that's the incremental approach that we propose as you kind of build out the digital twins, for different areas within your company or for modeling different processes within your company. Okay. All right. So from here, right, I have just touched, scratched the surface of DTOs, what we can do, how you can build them, what technologies you can bring to bear. But if you want to, go further, and if you have specific questions, we can help you, right? We've been doing this for a while. We've been a DTO leader, recognized by Quadrant Solutions for 3 consecutive years. Gartner hasn't published the Magic Quadrant yet, but we hope that they'll do one next year. But again, we've been mentioned by them, in multiple of their research pieces, right? Hype cycles, market analysis, and so forth. And then we have lots of white papers, videos, other webinars that you can access, right? So if you need any other information, right, please feel free to reach out to us after this webinar, and we'll be able to get you any information that you need. Okay, and with that, let's go to Q&A.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shoaib. Really appreciate you walking the audience through that. So as Shoaib said, we're now at the Q&A portion of the webinar. So I do see one question in there currently, but again, if you have any questions, we have plenty of time here. Please go ahead and ask your questions, and we'll try our best to answer them. Again, in the Q&A box in the webinar is where you should put those. So first question, Shoaib, is you're proposing to create the digital twin from standard operating procedures. What if your SOPs aren't high quality?
Yeah, I'm not saying that that's the only input. That's one of the inputs, right? So what I'll do is I will at least get them in there and see how I want to modify the model, right? What I would do is I would augment them with 2 things, right? I would augment them with process mining, where you can actually connect to your backend systems and get a more accurate view of what's going on. And I would augment them by people simply communicating with Gen AI and saying, this is what we do. So it would then update the SOPs and update the models from real world information, right? The SOPs are only a starting point.
Awesome. We have another question. Based on how it's phrased, I'm assuming it's from a partner. They say, I have a client with standard operating procedures in iGraphics 2011. Can they be used in Process 360 Live?
Yes, right. So the Gen AI feature that I was showing to ingest the standard operating procedure is not released yet. So we're still working on it, but we would be happy to actually try out your documents and see how well they work on the model and see what we need to adjust. We expect that functionality to be released shortly, but it's not released yet. But we'd be happy to take some sample documents and see what we can do with them.
Absolutely. And at a minimum, we, if those exist as documents in iGraphics, we could move them, like the SOP itself, not necessarily the models, we could move those to the Process 360 Live, right?
Yeah, we can definitely do that. You can just cut and paste them into the thing, or you can just save them as documents and upload them.
Okay. Next question, and thank you, audience, for continuing to ask questions. We love it. When it's engaging and when we can help get your questions answered. So can you talk about the various types of organizational users of iGraphics and how they would interact with DTOs?
Yeah, so we've identified 5 sort of primary roles that could use the solution, right? So the first one is, let's say, regular employees, right? People that need process information to do their work. So again, if I am in warehouse management, I need to find out work instructions for how to do something, I can just ask a question and then get an answer from the DTO use that process information to do my job, right? I may be required to acknowledge documents or provide input, right? So the idea is I'm the person that does a process. I find that something is not quite right about the documentation of the process or the model of the process. I can say, hey, fix this. This is not right. I can provide a comment. So that's one use case of people just doing their day-to-day jobs.